Alright, let's take a look at some super powerful Zoodiac combos. These combos will help you dominate the XYZ Festival and Master Duel, but even if you're just playing Zoodiac in Ranked or casually or some other Yu-Gi-Oh game, these combos are great because you can basically use one card to get to a boss monster, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to focus on Zeus first, then we're going to focus on Draco Utopic Future, and then I'm going to show you how you can power up your XYZ monsters just by using Zoodiacs from your hand. Super handy. This deck is extremely versatile. If you don't know this deck or this archetype, maybe you need a deck list or you need a better understanding of what each individual card does. I got you covered. There's a video for that. Link is in the description. You can check that out, come back here, or you can watch this one, then watch the other one. It works both ways. But for this one, we're just focusing on combos. And as you can see here, we started with a kind of a weird hand and we played the Max C, so we are going to get a few cards in our hand as a bonus, which is super handy, but this isn't really like a first choice hand by any stretch of the imagination. Doesn't really matter too much though, because all we really need to do is have one Zoodiac in play, keep that Zoodiac alive, and work our way up to Zeus or whatever other boss monster that you want to summon. So we're letting Dark Magician do their thing here. Doesn't really concern us too much. Now we already have a bunch of cards in our hand, and it's weird getting 2 Pot of Desires on your first play basically, but like, hey, whatever. So I'm activating, Lightning Storm here, and I'm gonna pop the back row. I used to run multiple Lightning Storms in this deck, but as you might have seen from the other video, I switched to one because too many Lightning Storms with all 3 Tenkis, it can clash too often. So what ends up happening is you have like a Lightning Storm or 2 Lightning Storms in your hand, but you need to use a Tenki, and now your hand is worthless because you used your Tenki and you got a boss monster, but your Lightning Storms can't do anything. So you're just kind of like destroying your own odds of having successful hands, in my opinion. Anyway, I blew up the back row with Lightning Storm, and that lets us play Tenki safely, which allows us to bring forth a Zoodiac. You can really use any Zoodiac here, and you can even go into a Dryden if you wanted to, but I wanted to clear the board here because 3 monsters on the opponent's side of the field, what are they up to? We don't like that. So I play Bunny Blast here, and Bunny Blast has an effect that stacks up to an XYZ monster, but we're not worried about that. We're just using it as material. If you want to read what all of the Zoodiac monsters do on sort of as their stacking effects, you can check that out on your own time. We don't need a 45-minute video here. So I make Borbo and I attack with Borbo because Borbo can attack directly, which is important because in order for us to summon Zeus, we need to have an XYZ monster that battles and lives to tell the tale. So right now what I'm doing is I'm using the other XYZ Zoodiac monsters to stack on top of each other because they can do that. That's one of their effects. And then that eventually leads into Zeus once I'm happy with the amount of materials that have stacked. So with this deck, you can work your way up to a 6 material Zeus. So what that means is you can use Zeus's board clearing ability 3 times, which is insane. I opted to go with 4 here because in order to do 6, you need to basically get rid of your Trident. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to use Trident a little bit later or how it would come into, how it would come into play. So I played it a little bit safe there, which is totally fine. Cleared the board, and now we're down to 2 materials on Zeus, so we can use its effect one more time, which is still super handy. We're gonna play the Pot of Desire at the end here, and let's see what we get. So we get another Zoodiac. Well, we get 2 more Zoodiacs. Those are the only monsters that we have. What am I saying? But basically at this point, we have a really, really amazing opener. So we've cleared the board. We have Zeus on the field, and we have a handful of Zoodiacs. We can draw more if we need to, and we have Tenki. So this is going to lead into Utopic Draco Future in just a bit, but let's see what our opponent is doing here to answer our challenge, our call. I don't know, I didn't really challenge or call anybody, but you know what I'm trying to say. Let's see how the opponent reacts first, and they're kicking things off with Magician's Rod, as Dark Magician decks are wont to do. So again, not really concerned about that, especially in the XYZ Festival format. There's not a lot that interrupts the Zoodiacs. Like, obviously there are counters that other decks can play, and obviously they can, have traps or spells and things of that nature. But because it's so easy to get out your boss monsters with Zoodiac, that's not too much of a concern. And that's the main reason why this deck is so powerful. It's easy to get out, you know, your best monsters. It's versatile, and you can turn even a bad draw into a good combo. Let me just take a quick breath. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I'm alive. So waiting for a response. This is the perfect time to tell you about the sponsor of this video, ExpressVPN. No, I'm just kidding. There's no sponsor. I just wanted to show the whole duel because I know a lot of you want to see whole duels. So, you know, if more people want cuts in the duels where we don't watch the Wi-Fi from my opponent going down or whatever, that's cool too. You just let me know in the comments. But I wanted to show the whole duel, and this is one of those magical duels where just everything goes right, and it's really easy to show you all the combos. So we lose our Called by the Grave here. Well, I mean, we don't lose it, we're forced to use it. I guess you can, it's a philosophical debate. We're using it, you know, when we didn't necessarily intend to use it, so I'm just gonna use it. At this point in my life, like, I don't really come up against Dark Magician decks that often, so I've kind of forgotten all about them. So maybe I could have targeted a better card to banish from the graveyard, but you know, that's neither here nor there. I'm not too concerned about it. And we're just mostly playing for fun, even though this deck is ridiculously, you might even say overpowered. I don't know if I would go that far, but it's just ridiculous. So anyway, let's get a Utopic Draco Future on the field, yeah? So the way we're gonna do that is by having Zoodiac, Ram, and Thoroughblade work together. But first, we can use our little pot here to bring the cards back into our deck and draw 2 more. And I'm going to use that opportunity to breathe once again. All right, I'm alive. I'm still alive. So, oh, I thought okay, I must be misremembering this replay because I thought my opponent Ash Blossomed this when I played. Or maybe they're about to and I just jumped the gun there. Spoilers, the opponent is going to Ash Blossom us. One of the many reasons why Ash Blossom is so good to run. You can stop cards like the pot that we were trying to use here, Pot of Avarice. But it's okay. It doesn't really matter. Like, this doesn't ruin our what we're trying to do. And if anything, it helps us because it forces us, or it forces the opponent to use their Ash here and not later on and ruin our combo or whatever. So, all right, we drew Ram. We're putting Thoroughblade on the field here. And we use Thoroughblade's effect to get rid of Ram. And you'll see why in just a bit. It's maybe a little bit confusing if you're new to the game. Don't worry, it all makes sense by the end. So we're going to put Chaka9, an Xyz monster, over We're putting Chaka9 over Thoroughblade, and we're going to use Chaka9's effect, which allows us to get rid of the Thoroughblade, because it's a material. And this will actually bring back Ram onto the field. Yay, the little Ram thing is back. So, oh yeah, it's asking me there about Whiptail. I'll show you that in a moment here by the end of the duel, but for now we don't need to worry about it. So we got Chaka and we got Ram on the field together. Now we make a Trident, and we're going to use Trident to destroy our own Ram. Again, if you're a newer player, or maybe you haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in a while, it seems weird, you know, like, hey, why am I destroying my own monster? That's freaking weird. But don't worry, it all works out. So we're using Trident's effect. That sends Chaka to the graveyard because it's a material, and then we destroy our Ram in order to bring it back because that's Ram's effect. It got destroyed by an effect. And so that allows us to bring back Chaka from the graveyard. If you need to watch this part of the video a couple of times, feel free. It's not a super advanced combo, but I know for newer players, it's maybe a little bit tough to grasp the first time. So now that we have the 2 Xyzes, we can special summon our Utopic Future, which basically needs 2 of our Xyzes from our deck. And then on top of Utopic Future, we can immediately play Utopic Draco Future. And Utopic Draco Future is an incredible card, no matter what the format is. If you can get it out on the field, it's amazing because it's basically like God card anime level of indestructible. It's not, you know, nothing in Yu-Gi-Oh is like indestructible, but this card, it lets you survive battles, lets you survive card effects. It's amazing. Plus, you can't go wrong with 3000 attack. Now, the duel at this point is basically over, but the reason why we're continuing to watch here is because I want to show you how to power up your Xyz monster with your hand. But as you can see, we got Zeus on the field. Although Zeus can't activate its effect anymore, it's still a 3000 attack monster. And then the other thing about Utopic Draco Future that we don't get to see in this duel is that it can actually negate the opponent's monster's effects. And then if it's negating a monster effect from a monster that was on the field, you freaking take control of that monster. It is such a ridiculous card. Oh my gosh. It's, you know, it's not the easiest thing to summon in the world, but my goodness gracious. Okay, let me breathe, let me breathe. Alright, I'm still alive, I promise. So, from here on out, you can basically play any Xyz monster. Like I said, the duel is technically over at this point, but I just wanted to quickly show you how to power up an Xyz monster. So, I'm going to summon Borbo in just a second, and again, Borbo is the Zoodiac that can attack life points directly, so you might be in a situation where like, you don't have any other plays, but you need to destroy the opponent's life points, they're kind of low. You can do that directly with Borbo. So putting Borbo over our Cataroost Zoodiac gives us Cataroost's attack, but now, from your hand, you can attach Whiptail to Borbo as material, and that will count towards Borbo's attack. So now Borbo has 2100 attack. You can attach the next Whiptail to have even more attack if you really wanted to. I'm going to stop there though because, you know, I mean, there's no point in this duel. I don't want to completely ruin this guy's evening, but that's it. That's how you play Zoodiac. Those are the combos. I'm Dr. Poplove. I'm your Weirdo Geek Bro. Like and subscribe if you had a good time. And I don't know how to end the video. I love you.